And so I'm going to actually ask Nika to please share the screen because we're talking about a very, very, very exciting topic today. And I think everyone would step out of here being like, wow, I feel like I just stepped up, you know? So Nika, if you can help me share the screen for the slides and presentation, we'll jump in. But yes, feel free to keep saying the people who you're proud of, still saying excited to be here. You're feeling good. I love the energy. I love everything that I'm seeing, and I'm excited to have that continue going on as we continue the session, but even throughout the day. Remember, this is day 3. Everything is a journey, and you're almost to the finish point. So you should definitely be proud of yourself as well. I was waiting to see somebody say, "I'm proud of myself." but,
So
but
confirm you can see my screen.
yes, I can see your screen. Thank you so much, Nika. All right. So today we'll be talking about emotional intelligence. Again, it's a really, really, really exciting topic. It's actually one of my favorite things to think about. Like, what does it mean to be what am I saying? To be emotionally intelligent. What does it mean to be like, you know what? I'm not only smart, I'm not only academically intelligent, I'm not only vocationally intelligent, but I'm also emotionally intelligent. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Um, Nika, if we can go to the next slide, please. Hey, I see Fire saying that she's proud. He or she, please let me know. So I am mixing up. But proud of of their group 5 members. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. So what is our agenda today? There are a couple of things we'll be talking about. So this is like, what do I want you to take out of this, right? Proud of everyone for not giving up. Honestly, I love all of this because at the end of the day, you're going to keep remembering that. So our emotions, the customer and I, you're reading about the customer every day. So what does that mean from an emotional standpoint? Self-regulation. When you're in situations that are tense, how do you regulate yourself? How do you make sure that like you are not the problem and you are able to even circumvent any problems that are in front of you? Empathy. What does it mean to be an empath, to empathize with a customer? And then finally, who is an emotionally intelligent agent? Actually, for all of you who are here today, I'm guessing everyone here wants to be an emotionally intelligent agent. So at the end of this class, I will be asking, do you feel like you are? Do you feel like you have what it takes? I'm sure you all have what it takes, but let's make sure that we get there and I hear what you guys have to say about this. But that's what we're talking about today. And we are actually going to start us off on the next slide with a breakout room. Yay! I'm sure everyone is like, yeah, let's do it. So the breakout room on the next slide, we're going to have a group discussion, and this is what's going to happen, right? So I want you to think. So we're going to break out the rooms into our typical groups. But before that, let me explain what's going to happen. So essentially, I want you to discuss one situation that strongly affected you emotionally. Actually, in the chat box, just put in what are some strong emotions that you felt recently? Is it anger? Is it sadness? Is it joy? Is it like, what are some of those strong, when you say a situation that strongly affected someone emotionally, what could that entail? It could be happiness, right? It's not only sad emotion. It could also be frustration, anger, pain. I see you there. I think it's that. Yes, that's also fair. Um, what else? What other emotions have we seen that you've been like, sad and joyful? What other emotions are there? Have we been able to pinpoint what emotions we are even feeling to begin with? All of these are potential strong emotions. And so let us depression, that's also a strong emotion. And sometimes you're in a situation where you're feeling strongly about something, but you have to also help somebody else feel differently about something. Or sometimes other people are feeling the strong emotions, and you're like, how do I even handle it? And that's all of what we're talking about today. But I'm going to allow Olanike to anger, working towards it. Amazing. We should always be working towards our goals of how do we not just be a porous. Imagine a sieve, like the sieve we used to sieve rice. You don't want to be a sieve that anything that enters just comes out. And not even a sieve. I think that's more of like a hole. You want to be more of a sieve actually, because then you want to be able to pour stuff in and decide how do I react to these different pieces. And so I love the fact that people are saying I'm working towards different things. And so now I'm going to actually let you go into your breakout rooms and you're going to discuss one situation that strongly affected
Could
you
we hold
emotionally.
on for about 2 minutes?
Okay. So during these 2 minutes, let's be thinking about what that situation is. Something that strongly affected you emotionally. If this emotions that you've talked about, anger, sadness, frustration, it could even be joy. It could be like, how could somebody have done this to me? I never expected it from you. I never expected it. So whatever it is, just think of one situation. So we're going to go into breakout rooms for about 7 to 10 minutes, and you're going to share within your group. Each person should probably have about 1 minute to share. Um, what strongly has affected you emotionally recently, and then we're going to come back, and we need one participant from each group, or from maybe 2 to 3 groups, depending on the time we have, to share out what that experience was, maybe collate what the group shared in the breakout rooms. But let's give us time to think about it. I'm even thinking about mine as well. What is something that has strongly affected me emotionally? uh oh, I have one. I have one. So Nika, let me know when it's time for them going to break our room, and I will let them do that. But I can share this one initially. So I'm sure some of us have siblings. I'm from a family of five. um I'm from a family of five. Oh wait, there's a lot of people in the breakout room. Let me add me people in the breakout room. 1 second. Okay, they're all joining. I'm a family of five, right? And so I'm the first girl, so I'm Igbo, so I'm a da, and but also the second child. But I have a younger sister, and we're always butting heads once every. It's been so interesting because we talk about everything. We're quite close, but at the same time, sometimes I'm like, oh, why didn't you just do this differently? And I think in those specific situations, it's been either of us honestly taking a step back to say, okay, what do I do? I could either keep being angry with this person, and we could either keep fighting about this, or I could take a step back and come back when they are calm. Anxiety, that's also another one. I completely agree. And sometimes anxiety leads to other things as well. Um, but yeah, as we're waiting for the breakout rooms to sort of come up, does anybody have any story, any situations to share? Maybe something that happened recently. Could be in your place of work, could be with your family, could be with your friends. Those times when you felt betrayed because someone did something that you never expected them to do. Those times when you let someone in and then they hurt you, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm so angry about this. Um, Whatever it is, let's think about those situations, and then we can share in the breakout rooms. Nika, do you need 1 more minute?
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, Francisca.
Okay, so I had a very emotional experience yesterday, like I told my group when we went to the breakout section. So I was having a flat battery last night. And so as early as 3 a.m. this morning, I knocked at my neighbor's door. I gave her my phone to please charge for me, only for me to come up this morning by to 8, and my phone was still flat. Like she didn't plug it
Oh
properly.
my goodness.
But I shed tears. It was very, very, very emotional.
Yeah.
So I had to run around and look for somewhere else to charge. This
Wow.
morning.
This morning, is it just so you can be at this session? One, we're very pleased to have you here, but I can only imagine how you felt. Okay, Patrick said Ayola Group 3 next. So let's get Ayola to speak up there. But thank you so much for sharing your story, Francisca.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so my story is in my final year in the university, I got to find out that I was going to have an extra year. And when I told my friends and family, they didn't take it well. My
Hmm.
friends just and my family, I don't know, because I actually told them, I think I told them a year before the result was out that okay, this is the situations of things on ground, but they didn't just want to accept it. So for a very long
Hmm.
time, they were reporting me to family members and always complaining. Any slight opportunity, they're easy to attack me. And I was really down, but I just had to motivate myself every day that it's my life. And if I don't get through it, then of what use will it be? So I just decided to motivate myself every day. And that was how I pulled through everything.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much for sharing that, Ayola. And I love how so in both of those stories, both Francisca and Ayola, there was a terrible situation, right? There were a lot of high, strong emotions, but they were able to say, what do I want to do as a result of this? So we'll definitely come back to how to approach situations like this in the future. But thank you so much for sharing. If we can move on to the next slide, I'm going to share a bit more about what is emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? So emotional intelligence is the ability to, number one, recognize emotions. Number two, regulate emotions. And number three, strengthen interactions and relationships with people. They all go hand in hand. With this definition here, who is emotionally intelligent? If you are, just say I. Just put an emoji in the chat if you are emotionally intelligent. They say three things go into this. Number one, the ability to recognize emotions. Is that something that you do? Number two, the ability to regulate emotions. And number three, the ability to strengthen interactions and relationships with people. Who feels like they are? Even if you are not, by the end of this session, you would have had the tools to be. But it's a range. Like, I am still working on my emotional intelligence. Everyone is working on it. But you have to know that it involves these three components. So even with the stories of Francisca and Ayola that we shared, how are you embedding it? Okay, now that neighbor, how are you going to? He's going, oh God, I gave you my phone since yesterday. At the same time, they are helping, but at the same time, you had expectations. How do you balance that? How do you regulate those emotions? On next slide, please. So there are couple sort of components of this thing that we call emotional intelligence, and we already talked through some of them now. But could you actually hit it all the way to the end, Nika, so that everything shows up? Yes. So like we talked about, okay, I see Zacchaeus in the chat, and he's saying that there was a current situation this morning. Oh my God. Exactly. Technological issues are also a problem that happens sometimes when you just don't even know where they are coming from. But with everything that has to do with emotional intelligence, there are these 5 things that go into it. The first is self-awareness. Self-awareness. Also, thank you, Zacchaeus, for sharing your story in the chat box. You have to be aware that there's a problem going on to begin with. You have to know, okay, there's something happening here. I'm not feeling at peace. I'm not feeling at alignment with myself. There is something that I need to do. Then self-regulation. You're like, okay, I'm angry. Then what do I do about the anger, right? Again, you don't want to just be receiving and giving back everything that you're getting in. You have to sift through it and say, what do I want to do? How do I actually want to feel, right? You come into the classroom, like with Zacchaeus' example, and you're just like, oh my goodness, Zoom is not working, internet is not working, and I came here to get these details. I'm frustrated. That's just the fact. But the next thing you do is what? Self-regulation. So what now? I'm frustrated, but I know that frustration will not get me to where I need to go. So what do I do? How do I combine all the things to be able to then get to my goal? My goal was to do what? Attend this class and get everything I need to get from there. And then you start thinking, what emotions do I want to feel? I want to feel at peace. I want to get this information. So how can I do it? Because I don't know if you all have noticed, but when you're very frustrated or angry, you can't even think straight. You're not able to actually do what you need to do. And in terms of the customer themselves is coming with their own problems. You know, they say Wahala be like bicycle. So you yourself, you are angry. You're like, hey, maybe you're so tired, but you still have to pick up that phone and attend to the customers. The customers themselves, maybe they've been having a bad day the whole day. So you're managing not only your own emotion, but also their emotion as well. Then empathy. How do you begin to understand what is the other person feeling, right? And if you're not in touch with yourself, and if you don't know, okay, I'm feeling angry, okay, I'm feeling at peace, you will not be able to really understand what the other person is feeling. And in this case, where you're a customer, you're literally a call center agent, you're supposed to field all these interactions from people, know how to deal with different people where they are. We learned about the chatty customer, learned about the lonely customer last time. You have all these different scenarios. So if you yourself are not at peace, how will you then be able to empathize and understand how other people are feeling, right? And then social skills. How would you combine everything into the social skills that you need to get to where you need to go? How many people here have actually been in scenarios where you called a customer call center yourself? Like you were having an issue with MTN, you're having an issue with a delivery, and you called the call center agent. So you are the one, you're not the call center agent this time, or you are calling somebody because you want an assistant. Just put something in the chat, like I or the emoji, that you've been in a situation where like you were the one wanting to get something from somebody. Is there any book that says, oh, before you call a call center agent, make sure you are calm? Me, I've not seen any book like that. There's no book like that. So the same emotions you are dealing with, your customer might be also dealing with the same emotions too. But the difference here is that you are the one that's supposed to be providing the service. Onilola, I see you. Zacchaeus, I see you. You are the one who's supposed to be the one marshalling the information to get the customer what they need, and to make sure that they get to the point where they come out of the call feeling like they've been served and they've gotten what they needed from the call. So your emotions matter, but they don't matter as much as the customer in that regard. But to understand that the customer themselves may be having their own negative emotions. And it's important that you're able to not only say, okay, I'm feeling this way, and this will affect what I'm going to do, but at the same time, my customer might be feeling this way too. So understanding what the customer is bringing to the call. Oh, I understand your frustration, and I'll try to get this fixed as soon as possible. Sometimes even just that sentence can keep somebody at peace versus you going back and forth and arguing with them about what needs to happen. I understand. That must have been very frustrating. That must have been very sad. We'll do our best to reconcile this. Just those calming words, just like making sure that you're understanding the customer's emotion and replaying it back to them can go a long way in you doing your service to them. And the other thing to understand is, like Francisca said, you didn't wake up this morning expecting to be frustrated, right? Francisca expected to wake up this morning to see her phone charged and ready. But when she woke up and then the phone was not charged. So it's unexpected. You woke up this morning ready to go, excited for the class, ready to do all things you need to do, only for you to go and your phone is not charged. What does that tell us? Emotions are neither bad nor good, right? That's not the question. The thing is, there are some certain points that you just have unexpected occurrences, and then those trigger emotions. So the same way you're in a call and the customer is calling, you're like, oh God, this customer is so angry. Can they just give me peace? No, you can be thinking that in your mind, but what you really be thinking is something must have happened to make this customer frustrated, to make this customer angry. It is my job, my responsibility to get them to a better place. But realizing that our own emotions and the emotions of the customers, it's not because we wake up intending to be angry. I've not met anybody like that they wake up that morning like, today is angry day, today is frustrated day, I want to be angry today. That rarely happens. Typically, occurrences happen to make that happen. So, for example, how many of us, right, I've definitely been in this situation where your mom or your auntie or your dad comes back from work and you just know that they had a frustrating day. You just can see that if you tread their path, if you do any one kind, they are going to give it to you that day. Like, you just know that you need to avoid, not necessarily avoid them, but you have to be doing everything softly, because they're already in an anxious mode. That's the same way you should be thinking about your customers. They're already angry, they may already be frustrated, maybe they just want something else. So how do you navigate that so you can still give them the service that they deserve, the service that they require? If you go on to the next slide. Let's just click on it so everything shows up. So there should be 3 steps there. Thank you. And so, like I said before, it's important to understand your customer's emotion, not only before, once they pick up the call. You see a customer say, hello, how are you doing? You're like, this is a calm customer, we are good. So I said, hey, I've been calling since nobody has picking my call. You know that you need to do some certain things to damage control. And then even during, as you're talking to them, be understanding, what are they saying back? Are they getting what I'm saying? Are they feeling more calm down? And then after, did you get somebody from like, I'm so angry with this organization to, okay, thank you, I will actually use this organization next time. Think of yourself as a person who's an intermediary, but at the same time, the person who has the power to really change what the customer's views are about everything that you're doing. So when it comes to self-regulation and motivation, which again are the key steps after self-awareness, what needs to happen? There's three things. Number one, you need to stop. You need to take a pause. You need to take it slow. If you don't pause, if you don't stop to understand not only your own emotion, but also the emotion of the next person, you're not going to get very far, because it's you keep on responding. So you're just like a hole. Everything that's entering is coming out. But you have to stop and say, what do I need? What do I need? What is happening right now? And then challenge. If you say, okay, you know what, you stop and you're like, oh, okay, I'm at peace. And I do this quite sometimes. Okay, I'm actually calm. This is where I want to be. But then you challenge. If you are not where you want to be, ask yourself why. Ask yourself, is there any way that I can get to where I want to be? I'm feeling angry right now, but I want to be at peace. How do you redirect? Okay, I need to take a walk. Okay, no, I need to talk to one of my friends. I know once I talk to them, they are able to get me up and I'm able to move. Okay, I need to eat. You know, sometimes it's hunger. Like sometimes when you have not eaten and you're just so tired and you're just so hungry, right? And so sometimes, but if you don't stop to recognize, oh, this thing is happening, or what can I do? You won't even be able to understand what you need to do for you to get to the next level. So that's the next step. And then finally, choose your responses, right? The customer is insulting you. They're like, people are just fine. People are just good. People are not doing what we're supposed to do. Da, 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 da. You have to stop. Okay, this customer is angry. Challenge. How am I feeling? I don't like the fact that they're insulting me. Why are they insulting me? Was I the reason for the problem? But I want to be able to help them get to the resolution that they need. So I'm going to choose my response. And my response is going to be calm. I'm going to make sure that I'm helping them navigate what they need to navigate. All right? And so, what?
You want everything, or I should keep it at?
Put everything.
Okay.
Okay, actually, go back. Okay. So empathy, we've talked about before. You have to feel with the customer. You have to understand, put yourself in the customer's situation, right? Whether it's good or bad. Empathy means the degree to which you're able to identify with and understand the viewpoints of the customer. If you don't put yourself in their position, that's why I asked at the beginning, how many of you have been in a situation where you call somebody? You're not trying to look for their own emotions. You're trying to get what you came here to get. So you have to be able to put yourself. I love that. And so you want to make sure that as a customer service, as a call rep, that people don't look at this slide and say, oh, I think you need to read this slide. But I completely agree. And so how do you put yourself in the shoes of the customer so you know what they're trying to get out and what you need to do? And then on the next slide, we actually then talk about so we have a role play coming up soon. So that's why I'm trying to go quickly. We can get to the role play, but as always, happy to take any questions if you have it in the chat. So what are the traits of an emotionally intelligent agent? We've already talked about those key things that we need, right? And we've talked about the SCC. You have to stop. You have to, what am I forgetting? You have to stop, you have to challenge, and then you have to choose, right? So that's the SCC. And that's what you need to be doing in every interaction. But then what else makes up an emotionally intelligent agent? Number one, showing empathy. We just talked about it. Have you been able to put yourself in their shoes? I know that in those moments when somebody is insulting you, when they are shouting, and you just said, I just want peace, I just want calmness. You're like, you want to respond in like, but no, do you understand where they're coming from? Maybe to Francisca's point, maybe they've been looking for, if they've been in a situation where their phone wasn't charged, maybe they've been in a situation where everybody, family, friends are telling them about, are being frustrated to them, reporting on them because they haven't gone, because they're supposed to take one more year in school. Maybe they've just been in a situation where that's been so frustrating. So think about what are they doing? What could be the issue with them? And then respond based on how you want to feel yourself. You want to build rapport well. You want to be resilient. You want to be able to listen actively. We've talked about this already before with effective communication. Listen actively, not to respond, but rather to help them solve their problems. And then finally, you have to be internally motivated. If you don't feel inside that, you know what, I really want to solve this customer's problem, I really want to get this person to a place where they're happy with my organization, then nothing is going to happen. So with all of that being said, we're going to move into a role play activity for like 10 minutes. But with everything I've said so far, could you guys put in the chat, what is one takeaway you've had with everything we've said? What is one thing that are like, I will be this, I will show empathy, I will build rapport well. This is something that I need to work on. Let's put it in the chat, please. What is something that you've taken away from all of this information we've said so far? Are you trying to be more resilient? Are you trying to listen more actively? Is it to show empathy? What is it that you've taken away so far? Let's put it in the chat, please. I need to work on everything, especially self-regulation. Don't we all? Thank you. Very, very, very important. I need more responses in the chat. What have you taken away from everything so far? Empathy for me, oh. I will listen actively. Building good rapport. Again, I know we want it to be all about us, but in this perspective, as a call center agent, as a customer service rep, it's about the customer. It's really about the customer. It's about how do you serve, internal motivation, or Julia said self-regulation. Dare said internal motivation. How do you internally motivate yourself? And so with that, we'll move into the role play. I'm very, 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 very excited for this. We're going to take about 10 minutes for this. Could you move to the next slide? Thank you. Okay. All right. So Francisca, try her best to put herself in the customer's shoes. For everybody who I didn't mention your name, I'm seeing your comments, and your colleagues are also seeing the comments too. And it's important to know, okay, we're all working towards this together. Everyone is on the journey to become better. Everyone, all of us included. So what matters is that you just choose what you need to get better on and keep pushing on it. I see someone whose hand is up. Paula, do you want to say something in the chat, or did you want to unmute? Okay, the hand is no longer up. Okay. So we're going to role play now. Everybody already knows their groups. So from group 1, we're going to have only 2 groups studying. But what's going to happen is we're going to have somebody play an angry customer. So somebody's going to play a customer that literally, read this role play, you have to be feeling the anger. You're coming in, you buy an industrial blender yesterday, you're a caterer. You have an urgent catering job outside of Lagos. And as I'm reading this thing, could we have the group 1 rep and the group, I've called on group 3 already. Well, Francisca, what group were you in?
I'm in group 1.
Group 1, okay. So group 1 and group 3 have engaged. So group 2 and group 4. Could I have a representative, one person to be an angry customer and one person to be the call center rep? I'm going to sort of explain this in the next, or read through the role play, but within this time. Okay. So Abiola, represent 2. Do you want to be the customer, or do you want to be the, we need 2 people from your group, Abiola.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. How may I be of help to you?
My name is Boyinlola. I got a blender from your store last week, and what people displayed on your site is quite different from what I got. The blender stopped working suddenly, and I have a job to deliver. Are you people telling me that you can't actually give me a good product for what you asked me to pay for? And now how am I going to do my job? And I really need my money. I don't care what you have to say. All I know is I want my money back.
Okay, ma'am. I'm really sorry about the inconveniences this must have caused you.
It is not a matter of being sorry. It is not a matter of being sorry. It is a matter of it is the fact that you guys can't even give me a good product. Is that how you go defrauding others? What sort of company do you run? It means
I'm
you
really sorry
people
once
can't
again.
even give us good electronics or good devices. How am I supposed to perform my job? I have a gig and I have to deliver, and you have failed me. Your company has failed me. The blender you gave me failed me.
Once again, ma'am, I'm sorry about that.
No. It seems you don't understand. You really do not understand. How am I supposed to tell my client this? Do you expect me to explain this to my client that the blender I got stopped working?
Okay, ma'am. Please, if you would, can I get the details of the store where you purchased this blender from?
I got it from your store at Surulere.
Okay, ma'am, Surulere.
Yes, please.
I would process a refund for you, but please, ma'am, would send a dispatch rider to the address you provided for the delivery to pick it up, and then a refund can be made to your account.
I
Once
want
again,
my
I'm
refund
terribly sorry.
immediately. I want my refund immediately.
Well noted, ma'am. I'm sorry once again for the inconveniences this must have caused.
You better do, because the next time I call, you won't find it funny.
Yes, ma'am. Would that be all, ma'am?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am, and I'll work on it right away.
Better.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice day.
Oh, there is nothing nice about today.
We're really sorry about that, ma'am.
All right, well done. Love the acting, love the response. Abiola, there's actually something I sent to you privately that should have changed your response. So Gary and Feyo, please let's look at what I sent to you privately, because there are some things that you cannot promise or give in this situation. But for now, everybody else, before we move on to the next group, in the chat, I want you to score 3 things for this first group that just happened. Number 1, I want you to score the acting of our customer, just for fun. And then I want you to score the empathy out of 5, out of 5. Score our customer acting, number 1. Number 2, score the empathy of the customer rep out of 5. And then number 3, I want you to score the problem solving of our customer rep Abiola out of 5. So I want to see each person detail those 3 things out. So that would be just a quick score. So for instance, I'll write something here. So something like this: customer 4/5. Empathy 4/5. And this is not the score I'm giving. I'm just giving an example. 4/5. Okay. But great work. So next team for 2 minutes, and we'll move faster this time. We have Dare as the rep and Elizabeth as a customer. So let's come off video, and come off mute and show us what you do. Okay, Dare. Yeah, unmute yourself and come off video.
All right, my hands. I've done that.
I can't see your video yet. And also Elizabeth.
Okay, I can see Gary now.
Elizabeth, can I see your video?
Yeah, I'm coming, ma.
Okay. All right. That way the rep is ready. I mean, they said call center rep should also be always be ready. All right. And I hope you saw the information I shared with you privately.
No, I didn't. Okay, it's for Dari.
It's for Dari.
All right.
Look into your chat.
Okay, ma, I'm coming.
Elizabeth, do you need more time? Can we move to the last group and then come back?
Yes, ma, please. I would like to. My camera is not connected to my PC, ma, so I'm trying to do it.
Okay,
Yeah, you
all
can
right,
move to the
Darren,
next
let's
group.
pause for a second. Can we have Tino Ade and Fayo? Fayo, please help me correct me. I don't want to spoil your name. Okay, thank you, Tino. Fayo or Fayo, please correct me. Let me know. Could you come off video on video and remove your mute?
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling Jumia. How may I help you?
I've been calling you since. You are picking now. You're just telling me, how can you help me? You cannot help me. It's obvious you cannot help me. I bought a blender from your store last week, and from the adverts on Instagram or the influencers, I thought that was about I bought the best thing. Only for me to get to Enugu where I have catering job to do, and the blender was leaking and not even grinding well. You could see pieces, as in pepper pieces in the blender. How on earth can a commercial blender work like that? 80,000 naira in the present economy, and it is not working well. It cannot blend pepper smooth, ordinary pepper. What if I want to use it for beans and it's still leaking on the engine? So please, I want my refund. I don't even want to hear anything, because if I don't get my refund, I will tag all the I will tag Instablog, this lover. I will drag your company on Instagram. Honestly, just tell me, ask for my account now. How just refund me. I don't want to get it. I have to buy another one to save the situation. So please, just give me my money.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello.
We apologize for that inconvenience. Please, ma'am, can I get details of where you actually got this particular brand of blender?
I got it from your store, from your online store. I clicked it and I paid. I paid via Paystack.
Okay, no problem, ma'am. Definitely, I'll work on the refund, and it's going to be credited into your account as soon as possible.
When am I getting the refund, please?
I can't say. I'm going to have to transfer it to our accounting department. So,
I need to buy another blender ASAP, because I cannot work. See, it's like you don't know the kind of company I run. You cannot give me a bad name in the society. You cannot make you cannot make me lose customers. I need to buy another one, a better one. In fact, I've seen one that I need to buy, and I want the same money to use to buy it right now. Just ask for my account number. Just let me give you. Can I dictate the account number to you now?
I'm going to actually call you privately to collect your account number when I get to our accounting department, so I can follow up.
How many years would that take you? How many years?
Okay, time up. 2 minutes is up. Thank you so much. Can we put our ratings in the chat? I will share my comments at the end of everything, but thank you so much. Loved it. Love like the different conversations. And so we're going to move on to the last group. We're already a bit over, but we'll take another sort of 5 minutes to wrap up. So 2 minutes for the last group. We have Daria and Elizabeth. Can you come off video and off mute? On video and off mute. Let's put our ratings in the chat for this for our group 4. How well did they do? The customer, the empathy and the problem solving. It's a serious situation. Pepper did not blend. It's not easy. All right. Thank you to all the teams. Thank you for everything. Okay, let's make sure we are rating this last group in the chat box. Look back and see what people said about the different groups. So the information that was not used in the first 2 that I shared, I'll share more better later, was the fact that the company actually has a policy that they cannot refund, and they only refund 70%, but after 7 days, I believe. And so you can imagine how you're going to navigate that in that conversation. A couple things that I liked the fact that all the different customer reps were calm, even as our customer was like, hey, wait, what's happening here? Like, I need my blender. I cannot blend pepper. What about beans? I cracked up there. But I like the calm. You want to maintain that composure, but at the same time, I think you want to assert as soon as possible to the customer that I will do whatever it takes to help you. So at least they know that that's your intention, right? Like, I will do whatever it is to get you what you need within our company, not company policy, but within the means that we have. But just letting them know that you are on their side and you're actually going to help them solve the problem as soon as you can, right? So you were at the beginning, I think the first one, they kept on talking and they didn't even give you breathing space because you were saying, oh, I'm so sorry about it. But move fast into, yes, and I will help you solve your problem and we will try to do what we can do. Tell me, what do you need from me and how can we do it? And again, if there are some policies that you don't know if you can work around, I think if you are able to call them back, and so you can talk to your superiors, because in cases like this, your policy is different from what they want, right? And so you want to be able to not promise them what you cannot deliver, right? But at the same time, you want to manage the conversation as well too. And again, remember from yesterday, do not transfer unless you absolutely need to, or you don't have the power to make that decision. But you should not just, every single contentious issue that comes your way should not be, okay, I'll transfer, because all of us, we all hate that hold. They'll not be playing that song. Dun, 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 dun. Like, please, no. Don't do that to your customers unless you absolutely need to. But thank you to our actors. Thank you to the people who role played. I want you all to be thinking, what would I have done differently? How would I have handled this differently? So that way, when you're in those situations, be able to do so. So we can go to the final slide just to wrap up, and I'll pass off to my colleague who is taking the next training. So in summary, and as I summarize this, definitely, I want you to say one thing that you're taking away from this, one thing that you're going to do in the future. I know you said that earlier, but with the role play as well, you can even let it be, if it was me, I would have said this, this, and this. But as I'm saying the summary, just definitely put something in the chat in terms of one thing you would do differently. And so we discussed a couple of things. Our emotions, the customer and I, we're not the same. We're the same, we have our emotions, but at the same time, we're coming from different places. We all have different emotions. And I'm not able to really tell the customer how they should feel. They're feeling a certain way, like their blender is not working. So what do you do in those situations? Self-regulation. How do you regulate your own emotion? They're insulting, they are shouting. Maybe you yourself, you are tired. That's your frustrating day. And they're coming with their own wahala. But you, again, are supposed to serve the customer. So how do you regulate your emotions? Empathy. How do you feel with the customer? Put yourself in their position. Abi, you saw how you guys were role playing now today with the position of somebody who had bought a blender, right? And it's not working. They have customers to serve themselves. So how do you put yourself in that position, even when you're just doing the job of helping them get where they need to do? How do you actually help them get the refund whenever they can? And finally, let's all decide how we can be an emotionally intelligent agent, because it's very crucial to what we do. With that being said, thank you all so much. It was a pleasure spending time with you. Love all of the takeaways in the chat. Self-regulation. Get familiar with the company policy. Love it. And with that, I will pass you on over to Olanike to lead us to the next training. So thank you all, and we'll see you some more later on.